All right, we are live streaming and we are recording.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's November 15th, 2021 session of the North Carolina Property Tax Commission. We're glad to have everyone here. Obviously, we had a little bit of audio and video. We've corrected the audio with our first hearing taxpayer. We do not have the video with Ms. Johnson, but we'll keep trying, but she's agreed and that we can go ahead and hear it with her audio. Let me mention something I'm required to do, and that is read the following statement in accordance with the State Government Ethics Act. It is the duty of every commission member to avoid both conflicts of interest and appearance of conflict. Does any commission member have any known conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before the commission today? If so, please identify. I'm getting an echo now, I think. I think it went off then. Okay. If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict and refrain from any undue participation in the particular matter involved. Seeing none, we will declare there is no conflict or appearance of conflict. Let me mention those people who are not directly involved in this hearing as parties. Please put your apparatuses, computers, whatever you're watching on mute, so we won't be picking up other things while we're doing this hearing. Today's calendar, we had a case in Gaston County, Dixie Village Realty LLC. That matter has been settled. Then we have a hearing, and that's from Edgecombe County, Martha K. Johnson, and we'll get to that in just a second. And we also have some administrative things to do today, no AV 14 or no AV 63 forms that we need to deal with. There's one from Jackson County. So I think we're ready to get into the Martha K. Johnson 20 Property Tax Commission 0325. Let me first introduce our commission members. We have Vice Chairman Terry Wheeler. We have Commissioner Bill Peasley. We have Commissioner Alex Guess. And we have Commissioner June Michaud. Also joining us is our Counsel and Secretary, Steve Pelfrey, our court reporter, Linda Garrett, and Mike Conley is substituting today for Alexandra Vendette. And so, Mike, we're glad to have you with us today. Ms. Johnson, I need to swear you, and Linda, you want me to just swear everybody, or you want to do the others?
If they can be seen and I can see their driver's license, I can swear them in. If you want to swear everybody in, that's fine.
No, well, let me go ahead and swear her in, and we'll let you do. Well, let's see, we're online. Maybe I'll just swear in everybody since they're online now, and we are live, and to protect their identity with their driver's license information. That may be the best solution today. Probably should have gone ahead and gotten them earlier, but we just didn't have things in order for me to get to that before we got to Ms. Johnson. And we're going to have to do hers orally, and I'll do it. Let's see, Mr. Peters, welcome. You're from Edgecombe County, representing Edgecombe County. And of course, Ms. Johnson is the taxpayer representing herself. Mr. Peters, how many witnesses do you think you'll have?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Teresa Lewis, the tax administrator. We hope our technology works. We have two laptops in here, Mr. Chairman. We're going to try and keep one for me and then move the other as needed. Teresa Lewis is here, the tax administrator for Edgecombe County. Eddie Lilly, who works in the tax office of Edgecombe County, is here. And Lenny Breedlove, who conducted the appraisal, is also in the same room.
All right. Well, let's do this. All those are going to testify. Um, If you have a Bible and want to use the Bible, you can swear. Otherwise, you can affirm. If you, include Ms. Johnson, if you will raise, Ms. Johnson, do you have any other witnesses? I didn't see any exhibits or any information about other witnesses.
I don't have any other witnesses, but I did send in exhibits.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
When did you send those in?
It's been a while ago.
All right, Steve,
I have them.
you do?
Yeah.
You have her exhibits?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, there
I
are
believe she-
copies from the file, and there are several items that evidently were sent in with the initial appeal. We did not receive any exhibits, in anything designated as an exhibit prior to the hearing, but there were several items that were copied from the file and included in the commission packets.
Oh,
And
so
I
it's in the
assume that's
commission
what she's
packet?
talking about.
I'm sorry, Terry, I couldn't hear you. What?
I said, I assume that's the exhibit she's talking about.
I
Yes.
saw some in the county exhibits. Steve, can you point me to where, or Terry, where her exhibits are? The information we got from Alexandra was that she had no taxpayer exhibits, I believe.
Probably, well,
That's the information we received.
That's not correct. And that's not correct. I have sent in several exhibits, and I had talked with Mr. Peters. He had also received my exhibits, and he indicated that I didn't need to resend them.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I believe what Ms. Johnson's referring to are the 15 or 16 exhibits that are numbered and are attached to her appeal.
they're in the commission file.
All right,
I'm not sure where they are, but she did have 16 exhibits labeled 1 through 16 that were attached with her appeal.
all right. I see
Yeah.
in the commission files some information here. Let's see. I
Yeah,
see-
that's where they're at in my file.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
them. I have them as well.
Um,
I see.
I see exhibit number 4. No, that's from Jerry Richardson, the appraiser. All right, let's see. Here's her notice of appeal from Ms. Johnson and the notice of decision. And I see attachments. Okay, that must be what it is then, I guess. Exhibit 1. Is
With
that-
parcel detail, is that it?
Yes.
Exhibit 1?
All right,
Yes.
I guess
Yeah.
that's it. Okay, so we'll
In the
Yes.
use,
commission file.
all right, we'll use that then. Okay, Ms. Johnson, I think we've cleared that up.
Okay.
Let's get everybody sworn. Each of you affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I affirm.
I affirm.
Okay, I think I heard 4 I affirms, and one of them was Ms. Johnson's, whose voice I recognize. All right.
Chairman, could we have the people who affirmed, please just state their name, just, I want to make sure that I have them.
You bet.
I don't see everyone
Mr.
on the screen.
Mr. Peters, why don't you give the names of each of your witnesses so Mrs. Garrett can make sure she gets them in the file?
Yes, sir. It's Teresa Lewis, TARASALEWIS, and Eddie Lilly.
State their
Eddie.
position too, if you will, Mr.
Yes,
Peters.
sir. Teresa Lewis is the tax administrator for Edgecombe County. And Eddie Lilly, is it Lilley? Lilley, and he is the tax appraiser for Edgecombe County. I don't want to rush you. The last one is Lenny Breedlove. He is the private appraiser who conducted the appraisal for this property.
Okay.
It's Triangle East Appraisal.
All right, I think we have everyone sworn and identified. But Ms. Johnson, the way we operate, you're representing yourself, or as we call it, pro se. And what we'll normally do is have a brief opening statement from you about what you contend about your appeal. And then we'll have a brief opening statement from the county. And then you'll be able to offer your evidence and your testimony. And you can let us know what exhibits you want to have admitted. And let me ask Mr. Peters. Mr. Peters, any objections to the information she submitted to us with her notice of appeal?
No, sir. And that's what I told her. She's right. I told her that she had submitted that and we would not object if to any of the exhibits she had submitted. And therefore, I didn't believe she needed to resubmit. I, of course, didn't give her advice in that regard, but I told her we would not object to it.
Okay. Well, we got it clarified. And Ms. Johnson, you've had a chance, you've received the county exhibits, I guess. Do you have any objection to any of those exhibits before we get into them that you know?
I have no objections to what they are presenting.
Okay, so we'll deem all the exhibits admitted. And Ms. Johnson, if you want to go ahead and give us a brief opening statement, and then we'll hear from the county, and then we'll come back to you for your testimony.
Okay, my name is Martha K. Johnson, and I am here today because I feel that my property has been inappropriately assessed in comparison to my neighbors who has property of similar style, structure, but the values have been assessed less, or some of their property items have not been assessed, whereas mine has had 1,000 extra square feet added to it, and $6,000 additional in value added to it. And I feel like all of it is inappropriate, is erroneous. It should not have been done, and that it was not properly assessed prior to putting that value on my tax card.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Mr. Peters?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To be brief, Mr. Chairman, Edgecombe County conducted a mass reappraisal in 2017, and we believe assessed the value of this property at 95 Rollingwood Drive in accordance with Edgecombe County's adopted schedule of values. That value did go up in 2019 when Ms. Johnson constructed a carport and a sunroom. And then in 2020, when Ms. Johnson appealed to the Board of Equalization and Review, the basis of this appeal, the county also looked at Ms. Johnson's property again and rediscovered, as the term we'll use, rediscovered a unfinished attic space, and that was added to the value. So the current value is $151,963. We can get into the details on the attic space again later, but that space was added and taken off and re-added in 2020. I'm not aware of any evidence that supports the statement that 1,000 extra square feet were added, other than possibly she's referring to the sunroom and carport. But in short, Mr. Chairman, Edgecombe County feels like this appraisal was done in accordance with its schedule of values, and that the data supports the value. And we don't believe, after meeting with Ms. Johnson several times, that she's offered any evidence to show that the county's appraisal is arbitrary or illegal or substantially exceeds the true value of her property.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Peters. All right, Ms. Johnson, we'll get into your evidence, and I think you've had some information sent to you prior about the standard that we have to go by, that we're required either by statute or by court cases. And so that is that the ad valorem tax assessments are presumed to be correct by the county, and that in order to rebut this presumption, the taxpayer must present evidence to show that an arbitrary method of valuation was used, or that an illegal method of valuation was used, and that the assessment substantially exceeded the true value in money of the property. So if you want to go in and you'll be testifying now and be able to offer any information about the exhibits you've submitted and point us to those to convince us about that standard, which you have to meet. And if you do that, then we'll get into the county has to offer evidence as to why theirs is actually correct.
Okay. Okay, this is, I want to open up and I hope this is okay, but I just got some stuff that I needed to open up with. Is that, can I give you an opening statement to let you know something about how we got to this point?
Sure, you can talk anything that has to do with the valuation and why you contend it's not proper is appropriate. And that would have been also something you could have done in your earlier statement, but you can make a statement and testify and offer evidence now, anything you'd like that has to do with the valuation.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, and thank you for your time and for allowing me the opportunity to seek justice in the fair application of assessment protocols in Edgecombe County for myself and other citizens. My name is Martha Johnson, and I have been a contributing and active resident of the county of Edgecombe for over 40 years. I am a retired individual blessed with over 65 years of life. I've lived 30 of those years in service to others as a county employee of the Department of Social Services. I've served as an APS worker investigating the abuse, neglect, and exploitation of individuals. I've served as a special investigator investigating fraud, misuse, and errors in the application of policy for recipient of services. I've served as Medicaid supervisor to assure people receive health care and nursing home assistance. I've served as an adult home specialist, making sure care and services was appropriately provided in facilities and assisting administrators in establishing and rendering care and services as outlined in North Carolina law. So I am of the mindset that as we provide service in county, state, and federal positions, that it is to be done with honesty, integrity, fairly, and justly. It is with the values of the providing agency forefront and not with personal prerogatives or abusive intent to assert personal power and authority, or with the intent of providing favor in the receipt of county services to select friends and family and individuals that is derived from manipulation, adjustments, and assessments outside of the normal application of rules. These unfair and manipulated assessments causing tax hardships for some, tax evasions for others, and the county having a system that is administered fraudulently and in a discriminatory manner. The Edgecombe County Tax Assessment Office has completed several actions that leads to question their proper and fair application of property assessment in Edgecombe. I've had several interactions that I feel has led up to this moment. Number one, having lost my home in the flood of 1999 forward, I sought housing at my current residence of 95 Rollingwood Drive. Before I could close on my home, it was required that all taxes be paid. This was done and closing went on. Several years later, 2003, the Edgecombe County Tax Office reassessed and required payment of over $300 for cars lost in the flood. Number two, as you will see in evidence also presented by the county, my home's assessed value has been changed at least 4 times, each time with an increase. It went from $86,041 up to $130,766 as of 12/17/19. That was a $44,725 increase when nothing had been added to the initial structure. In 2019, there was an addition made to my home with an assessed value increase of $21,867. Why the big difference? Number three, in 2015, the Edgecombe County Tax Office had $801.60 garnished from my paycheck for taxes that had been paid December 2014. When I contacted the county, provided my receipt of payment and requested a refund of my wages, the county then refunded my money in 2 payments over a period of time of $400.80 each. Why? Did they not see the property tax bill was paid when they applied the money from the garnishment? If I had not caught the error, the county would have overassessed me and never refunded my wages. There was number 4. There was another instance when I went to pay my taxes and noticed an error. I asked for the correct amount so that all taxes could be paid that day. I was informed that I needed to pay what I was told and that the county would correct it when they got a chance. The county tax administrator wanted me to pay something that they knew was an error and then wait for them to give me back my money whenever they got ready. Why? The reason I'm here today is because the most recent assessment, my home value of $146,766 and my taxes to $1,638 as of June the 20th. Then on June the 20th, because I appealed the tax assessment on that night at the appeal hearing, my property was deemed to have an unfinished attic space. And that's where the 1,000 square feet came in. And so it is currently assessed at $1,051,963 with taxes at $1,751.01 as of 8/6/21. No addition or changes to the resident has been made since 2019, but at the whim of the county tax administrator and an appraisal review and appeal request, a 1,000 square foot of added space was added and an assessment of $6,142, which listed my home at 3,592 square feet. I shall attempt to show you how these figures were erroneously assessed and maliciously and intentionally added after I presented a comparison of the inequities in their assessment practices. This brings me to my exhibits. Keep in mind that for about 10 years, I was the only Black person in my neighborhood. A large majority of my neighbors have much larger square footage. They have swimming pools. They have 2-car garages. They have upper stories that are complete. They have added on rooms, shelters. They even added on rooms for their dogs. They have 2,500 square feet in barn space, but their assessed value is either less than mine or not proportionally assessed in relation to mine. So then we go to the exhibits. Okay, the first exhibit, Exhibit 1, you have my homeowner information. Okay, you have my homeowner information. And it shows here what I wanted to highlight was that the building tax value was $135,963. But if you look over here at the square footage, it's 3,529 square foot. And I want to know where it is at, because it's not at the place that I reside at 95 Rolling Wood Drive. Then you have a net tax value of $151,963. It is a single family residence. And if you look here, you'll see that it has an unfinished attic in terms of the buildings. So, and if you go to the property record card, you'll see here where they have added the attic back in. And if you look down under let's see, this is LN description, where they got area value and RP value. And if you look at number F, it shows attic unfinished, and the area they showing is 1,000 square feet with an assessed value of $6,142. Okay. Now, I would like to ask Mr. Breedlove when you know, whenever possible, when he walked into that place that's above my living space, there was not one board that was nailed down. You couldn't even get into the attic on a board that was nailed down. You could see the loose insulation up in the attic. You can see the wires and the pipes and so forth and so on. So now I don't know how you get an unfinished attic over space that is normally utilized just as an attic. But anyway, that's that $1,000 that has upped my square footage to 3,529 square feet, which puts my
Ms. Johnson,
house larger than.
Ms. Johnson, let me interrupt you just a second. You
Uh-huh.
said you wanted to ask the tax administrator a question. You can call him as a witness during your presentation of your evidence if you would like. So you can call any of the county witnesses in your portion of your presentation if you would
Okay.
like before you rest. Okay.
Oh, okay. So I'll go back to him so that I can go ahead and try to get through these exhibits. But anyway, this attic space has been added to my tax card as of June 2020, this additional attic space. And so I'm showing 3,529 square feet of home ownership. And that's more than all the houses that's next to me and surrounding me in my neighborhood. Even houses that are just like mine. It looks just like mine, built the same design. But I want you to keep that in mind. And then we have Exhibit 2. This is the card that shows no attic space. And this is Exhibit 2. And this was done by the Edgecombe County Tax Assessor's Office. So I'm saying this because I want you to be aware that it was not rediscovered. It was not no rediscovered space. The county tax office has been aware of the structure of my house ever since 2002. And we'll go to a letter that will indicate such as we go along. But here you will see that the assessed value here was $1,046.60, and then she added another $2,000 from somewhere. I don't even know where that came from, but that was done 1/29/20. And then in Exhibit 3, if you look at the design of I guess you call it the blueprint or the design. If you look down here, it shows total heated or living space is 1,579 square feet with a 40 square foot porch. Now I want to bring you back to the Exhibit 2, where it shows here that my square footage is 1,665. And I don't know where that came from. But you know, when they're charging $95 and $96 per square foot, every square foot matters. And so my plan is showing 1,579 square foot, and they're showing 1,665 square foot, and I don't know where it came from. In Exhibit 4, This is the letter that shows that the county was very much aware of how my home was constructed, has been ever since it was initially constructed. This letter is dated February the 7th, 2003, and it's from Jenny Richardson, the real estate appraiser. And it states, "Dear property owner, Martha Knight Johnson, after reviewing your property record card and the blueprints of your home that you recently brought in, I wanted to inform you of changes made to your real property listing. I understand that you spoke with our assessor, and she agrees that the upper story of your home should be listed as attic space. I have made this adjustment and have also adjusted the sketch in our system to reflect your blueprints. Our assessor has also agreed to list your home in average condition instead of the previous listing of above average. This means that the value of your property is now $96,041. This value includes your lot and your house, now at 100% complete. And this was done by the real estate appraiser from the Edgecombe County Tax Assessor's Office on February the 7th, 2003. So my attic space was no surprise. It could not be rediscovered when an employee, two employees really, of the county tax assessor's office had already deemed that it was just attic space. Exhibit 5 is a scale drawing and assessment document of my home site. And once again, it is showing $1,665 for the, 1,665 square footage, and then a 40 square foot front and 104 square foot back on this. Now, I just wanted you to keep this in mind. This was done, let's see, I think it was last appraised 1109, but this was done after that. So, but anyway, this is the scale drawing of my home site. The initial home site. Okay. And then on Exhibit 6, what I have tried to do, now these houses are on both sides of the street in the area on the street that I live on. And what I tried to do, if you'll look, you'll see the net value of these houses. And I tried to go through and list everything so that it could be easily compared to each other. And we could see exactly, how things were assessed differently. And this is more deep than what I wanted to go into right now. So if you'll just put that to the side somewhere, we'll go back to that. But I want to go into the parcel details right now and look at Exhibit 7. In Exhibit 7, this particular home, which is next door to me, has listed in square footage 2,816 square feet. It's the building tax value is $127,241. And the net tax value is $143,241. Then if you flip over to the report property record card, you will see that this house that assessed at $2,816, 816 square foot, in comparison to my house that has been assessed at 3,529 square feet. Now, if we look at this, her base area is 1,688. She also has an open porch of 264 square feet as compared to mine's 40. She also has a garage of 446 square feet, 48 square feet is compared, that's assessed $13,000. And then she has another porch that's open and finished of 256 square feet as opposed to my other 40. And then she has a wood deck, but her total square footage is only 2,816 square feet. And I'm listed with 3,529 square feet. And I don't understand it. I can't see how you can say that my house that has not had any improvements in it, until 2019, and now all of a sudden I come up and have 3,529 square feet, and I still don't have any more except for a carport and a sun porch added to the front, but I got more square footage that's being assessed. I don't understand it. I don't see it. Then if you go to the next exhibit, this was exhibit 7. And then if you go to exhibit 8, and this is right down the road from, right down the street from me, excuse me. If I'm not mistaken, this house is very similar to mine's. And their square footage is assessed at 2,409 square foot. And their building tax value is $145,991 with a net tax value of $163,991. They have a carport. And with their home site, number 1 is listed at $122,230. Then their carport, like mine, is listed at a value of only $700. But the things that I wanted you to see that's different with this particular property in comparison to mine is that not only do they have the home site and the carport, they got a patio apron, they got chain link iron fence, they got a pool, they got a driveway that's paved, and they got a gazebo. I just got crush and run in my driveway because that's all I could afford. And I don't have a pool, and I definitely don't have a gazebo. I don't have any of this stuff. So I don't understand how they could be assessed. Their property could be assessed with only 2,409 square feet. And mine's, I don't have a pool, don't have any of this stuff now. Mine's is assessed at $3,529. I don't understand the discrepancy. And if you look at this particular structure, they have a completed upper story. Now their upper story is completed, but their house is very, just like mine, but their upper story is completed. And I don't have anything but added space, but their value is 2,409 square feet. And their tax value is $145,991. Mine is $151,993. And I don't even have an upper story. I don't have a paved driveway. I don't have a pool. I don't have a chain link fence. I don't have the storage or any of this stuff. So I don't understand the difference. And then you go to exhibit 9. These people are also in my neighborhood right across the street. Their footage is listed at 3,302 square feet which is still less than mine's of 3,592 square feet. But when you look at this particular house, they got a base of 1,786 square feet. Now you got to remember, my blueprint says mine is only 1,579 square feet. They got an open porch with 144 square feet. They got another porch of 56 square feet, which is still bigger than my 40 square feet. They got a carport of 812 square feet, which is twice the size of mine. Mine is only 440 square feet. They have a utility storage, which is unfinished, and that's 504 square feet. That's bigger than my sun porch. But yet and still, they are only assessed for 3,302 square feet. And their total value is $135,708 for the building tax value. And then the net tax value is $151,708, which is still less than mine, because they're charging me they're saying mine is $151,993. I don't have that large porch. I don't have my base area is not as large as theirs. My carport is only half the size of theirs. So I don't understand it, how this assessment can be. Then if you go to number 9, and this person is also number 10, exhibit number 10, excuse me. This person is also in my neighborhood, and their square footage is 2,521, and their building tax value is $1,027,823, with a net tax value of $1,043,823. Now, in comparison to my house, they got an upper story, which is completed. Their base is 1,425. They got a porch, a screened-in finished porch of 163 square feet, which is bigger than my 40-foot porch. They got a patio of 272 square feet. They got another finished porch of 108 square feet, which is still bigger than mine. The largest mine was 104. And then they got a finished upper story. But yet and still, the assessed square footage of this property is only 2,521 square foot. But they're saying that mine, and I don't have any of this stuff. I don't have no upper story. I don't have these big porches. Mine has been listed at $3,529. I don't understand it. Even their net tax value is less than mine. Theirs is listed at $143,823. Mine is listed at $151,993. Why the difference? Then exhibit number 11. This person is across in the next subdivision next to mine. But if you'll see where their house is listed with a square footage of 2,041 square feet. Their base area is 1,132, but they got an open porch that's finished of 157. I only have 40. They have an upper storage area that's finished, 600 square foot upper storage area. They got a basement that's unfinished of 312 square foot. They got 2 wooden decks. One is 120 square feet and the other one is 288. Then they got another.
Mr. Chairman, I just have a question. Are we on exhibit 12 or what exhibit number are we
We're on
on, Ms.
exhibit
Johnson?
11. Exhibit 11.
Right, exhibit 11.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you have a question, Commissioner Michelle? or
No, I
just-
just wanted to make sure that I was, okay,
yeah, some of
Exhibit
those
11.
figures.
Exhibit 11, I'm seeing that the structure, the address is 278 Rolling Wood Drive. That's my Exhibit 11.
No,
Okay, that's what's marked as my Exhibit 11, and it has 3,525 square feet. That's
That's
marked
what
as,
mine's showing also.
yes,
okay. Okay, what address are you showing?
278 Rolling Wood.
Okay, that should be Exhibit 13.
What is the address of the exhibit that you're presenting to us now, Mrs. Johnson?
Okay, that address is 41 Greenbrier Road.
I have that marked, it's marked in my packet as Exhibit 12.
Okay, it should be 11. Please excuse me.
All right,
Okay, thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you. Okay, but if you'll look here, their assessment is 2,741 square feet. They have an upper story, they have a basement, they got 2 wood decks, they got porches that are 132 square feet and 157 square feet. I only got 2 porches that are 40 square feet each. And they only assessed 2,741 square feet. And then their house, they also have 2 storage barns or 2 storage areas. They have 3 wood vinyl fence. They got a pool area. They got a patio apron, and they got an unfinished garage that's 16 by 30. And they are only, the building tax value for this property, which they're saying is only 2,741 square feet, is the building tax rate is $126,750, and their net tax value is $142,750. But yet they're telling me that my property is assessed at $3,529 square feet. And I don't have a pool. I don't have no 2 storage things. I don't have a patio. I don't have an unfinished garage. I don't have the storage that they have, but mine is assessed at 3,529 square feet. Their tax value is $142,750. Mine is assessed at $151,993. So to me, there's something wrong. They got an upper storage. I don't even have that. And I definitely don't have a pool. And then in my number 12 is located at 116 Rolling Wood. Do you have that? $116 Rolling Wood Drive.
It's listed Exhibit 10. This exhibit are you?
Marked as Exhibit 10 in my packet as
I'm
well.
looking, which,
It's
Anybody found
located
that
at
yet?
116 Rolling Wood Drive. That's the property address.
What exhibit should that be, Ms. Johnson?
Well, mine is listed as Exhibit 12, but evidently something got mixed up in the packets.
yes, ma'am, I'm not seeing that. Anyone found that one yet?
Mr. Chairman, this is-
Okay,
In mine, it's Exhibit 10.
Mine as well.
Right,
10, okay.
they're out of order.
2693 square feet.
That's correct.
All right,
That is correct.
I've got that one. So that's Exhibit
Okay.
10,
Okay,
Ms. Johnson and ours.
okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh,
Yes, Vice Chairman Wheeler.
And Ms. Johnson, when you're saying 3,500 square feet, are you including porches, garages into those numbers
For myself,
or any of them?
yeah, I'm just including what they have here on this parcel detail as the square footage for this particular property.
Do me a favor, go back to Exhibit 6,
Okay,
because that's where I have been trying to, where you have everything in one place.
okay,
Because if you look at Exhibit 6, and then go to Resident A,
okay.
that's your Exhibit 7.
Oh, it is?
Yes, if you go to Resident C, that's your Exhibit 8. If you go to Resident Z, that's your D, that's your Exhibit 9. Resident E is your Exhibit 10. Resident F, I don't know what that is, but Resident G is your Exhibit 11. My question is, if you go to yours, under your Martha Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
you keep saying 3,500 square feet, and I can't find that in that column.
Okay, okay, let me get
And
my,
well, another question is, you have square footage 2,529, and then you have base square feet 1,665. Is the 1,665 heated square feet?
the 1665 as listed by the county is supposed to be heated square feet. But
Well,
my,
the reason I'm asking you this, I'm trying to compare apples to apples and oranges to
Right.
oranges. All this talk
Right.
about pool and porches. I feel like you have lumped all of the square footages of the garages, the porches, the decks, and all these things into one big number.
well, what I have done is use the parcel detail listed by the county for each piece of property. And that's where I'm pulling my comparison from. Because when the property parcel detail listed by the county is showing 2,693 square feet. And then on mine, it's showing 3,592 square feet. That's what I'm trying to show you.
Ms. Johnson, I think on your property record card, I'm looking at 3,529 square feet, but above
Yes.
that, the description is broken out. A base area, then porch, then.
It is.
Mhm.
It is, and that's the way it's done on all of these cars. That's the same way that it's done on all of these cars. But if you look down underneath there, where they list the base area, the porch, the deck, the carport, and all so forth, and then the total is 3,529 square feet, and that's the same number that they list on the parcel detail of 3,529 square feet. And that's the same way they use that same process with all of these properties.
And Ms. Johnson, if you look at that Exhibit 6 that I was speaking from,
Okay.
now the second line there, building value, that is the value on the property record card, correct? For the heated, for the house.
Hold on just 1 minute. I got to go back. And that's 7. Okay. Give me a minute, because I done got them out of line. Okay, let me see if it's down here. That's 13.
And sometimes, Ms. Johnson, what I like to do is look at the value of the house and,
Mm-hmm.
and divide it by the square footage of that house, the heated area. And if you look at that, the building value, and if you divide it by the 1,665 square feet, which is the heated area, and if you go across the board consistently and do that and divide it, the value, your house is valued at $78 a square foot. Resident A is $75 a square foot. Resident B is $89 a square foot. Resident C is $101 a square foot. Resident D is $75 a square foot. Resident E is $108 a square foot. You're in the kind of the low side of that square footage cost comparing all of those.
Now, I don't know, look,
I'm-
I don't have that, I'm just gonna say that I don't have that skill set that you have. I don't have that training to know about the square footage, and how you divide it and all this other stuff. The only thing I have to go by is what the county has in their records. And when I'm comparing square footage, and the square footage is based on what is listed on the property, you know.
Yes, ma'am, I
And that's
understand.
all I picked up. They're listing in their tax records, the base area, porches, upper storage areas, carports, attic. That's what the county has listed in their records. And then they come up with a total of square footage.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
they're showing me with 3,529 square foot. And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't have as much stuff as these other people. That's what I'm trying to show you.
Yes, ma'am, I do. I understand. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Johnson, I think what Vice Chairman Wheeler is getting at is that there's different categories of property on your tax card. And the heated main portion of your house is going to have a higher per square foot figure than things like a porch or garage or some of these other things. And so you can't just compare the total square footage with others unless they have the basic same square footage areas in each of those categories, which are assessed at different tax rates. And I think that's what's causing us to be trying to figure out if yours is correctly or incorrectly valued according to your tax records and your comparables and what you're presenting to us.
Okay. I can understand that. And the only thing I can say is that when I drive up here to my house on some crush and run rocks, and all I have is a carport and then a sun porch, and then the other 1,579 square foot of my house, that's it. That's all I got. But then when I go across the street, I drive on a concrete pavement, and they got a closed 2 rooms on the back, a closed-in carport, and all this square footage in the main on the base, you know, that has not been listed in the tax records, and their house is valued less than mine. Something's wrong. That's like you driving a Cadillac and I'm coming up in a Volkswagen.
Well, and there could be differences in the value, certainly for your driveway and things like that, and some of the items that you have listed and the conditions of some of them. So that could have a bearing if you can show
And
us.
most of the houses that I have listed were either constructed within a year or 2 of my being on that property, or a year or 2 prior to my being on that property. So, you know, I try to make sure that, you know, that they were in the same range in terms of being built. Now, there's a couple that is not, you know, because they were sold and they've been there a long time. But still, even with that, you know, it's how their net tax value is less than mine. But you look over there on the other side and their square footage is greater than mine. Their land, their building tax value is less than mine, but I only have 100 and mine is assessed at $151,993. And you got people that got almost twice as much house or twice as much living space, or at least 1/3 is more living space than I do. And their building tax value is less, and their net tax value is less. And I don't understand how that could be. I've been in these houses, so I know that they have more living space than I do.
All right, let me ask you this. I think two contention, well, maybe you have more than two, but one of them you had was unfinished attic, and you said that that should not be listed, and I think that was $6,000 that was added, and there was the sunroom that was added also, and somewhere I saw where that was an additional, what, 20-some thousand dollars that was added. Was that accurate, or do you think that that's not finished square space?
I really don't have a problem with the sun porch and do with the car porch, because some of the car porches that they have assessed is less than mine. But with the sun porch, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
It's just that on that unfinished attic space that can't be used for anything. It doesn't even have a floor in it. You know, and by them adding that 1,000 square foot to my card or to my taxes, then that has showing me at 3,529 square feet, and I don't have that. But these other homes do actually have 26 and 3,000 and so forth of space. So that's what I'm really contesting. You know, it's just wrong.
Well, do you want to call one of the county witnesses to, so you can ask them about the information on your tax card and how it's computed?
I would like to call, I do have, let me see, 1, 2, 3 more. If I could please finish these.
Well, we understand where you're going there. There's a little confusion about the number of exhibits, but all of them kind of have the same issue that we're trying to figure out to see if they're actually comparables in the way that you've computed your information. We have those there, so we have those as exhibits, and they've been admitted. If you want to talk about them, we will certainly let you, but I'm not sure it's going to clarify things for us.
Okay. Well, I would like to call I think it's Mr. Breedlove. Is that correct, Mr. Peters?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right, Mr. Breedlove, you've been sworn. Ms. Johnson is calling you as a witness to examine you about the property.
Yes.
Mr. Breedlove.
Okay.
That's something else. So we can give you a little more time. We just come set up for the next group.
Okay. Give me just a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. They're claiming my space here, but I would like to ask Mr. Breedlove a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Breedlove, when you went in, what did you see once you went up the stairs at my residence?
Your attic is an unfinished attic. It was not floored. You couldn't walk through it, couldn't measure it because you'd be walking on rafters, and I don't like to fall through ceilings. I could not tell whether, because of the limited lighting up there, I could not tell it was engineered that it could be finished into living space. So I gave no value to it when I did my appraisal.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Well, let me ask, Mr. Breedlove, are you saying that attic space was not added in an additional tax value to her property?
It was not included in my gross living area. No, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I think
Was there a value assigned to it?
No, not from my perspective, but I can't speak for the tax office.
Mr. Chairman, Mr.
Okay,
Breedlove.
Mr. Peters, can you clarify that for us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Breedlove was the independent appraiser who conducted an appraiser. He is not a county employee.
Okay,
And so he's answering a different question.
all right. Ms. Johnson, maybe you need to ask that of one of the county tax people.
Well, I can't ask the county tax people that question because I asked them on several different occasions to please come to my house and go up the stairs and you will see that I don't have an unfinished attic. I asked them that several times. They never, ever came. They failed to come. They would not come. And when they did their reassessment of the property, they did a drive-by. They had teenagers in a car that did a drive-by with cameras, but they would not come and verify that I did not have an unfinished attic. So I
Well,
can't ask.
You've
county
got somebody here
employees.
today that you can ask about that. That's a county employee. Let me wait just a minute. Mr. Guest, I think has a question.
Who hired the appraiser? Who did he do the appraisal for when he looked in the attic to determine that it wasn't finished attic space?
The county.
Yes, sir. The appraiser was hired by the county after this appeal was filed.
Okay. If the appraiser was hired by the county after the appeal was filed, and the appraiser has indicated that in his opinion, this is unfinished attic space, my question is the county including 1,000 square feet of unfinished attic space on the property card and assigning a $6,000 value to that? And if yes, why?
I can't answer that. Which one of you wants to take that? Eddie, can you introduce yourself again, please?
Yes. Eddie Lilly, I've been with the county for 17 years. With Beaufort County 2 years before that, and Mark County 2 years before that. Anyway, the county uses a different scale of values for whatever's attic can be used for. If you stick boxes up there, it's an unfinished attic, whether it's got a floor or not. If it's got a floor, it's a finished attic. It goes on and on. So if it can be used for storage anyway, we cover it as an unfinished attic. So a lot of room up there you can use like a storage building. So we put the lowest value of an attic up there, and that's what we did, because back in 03, when she appealed her value, she used blueprints and said there was an unfinished attic. There was originally an unfinished upper story, but it's been changed to unfinished attic, which is the cheapest rate. And that's why we did it.
Have you, this is Commissioner Guess, have you personally been out to her house and looked in her area that you're designating as an unfinished attic?
No, sir. Going on to 03 records.
Has anyone else from your office, other than the appraiser that you hired, been out to her house and looked in her area that you're calling an unfinished attic?
No, sir. She hasn't invited me to go in there.
If you have hired a licensed appraiser to act as your representative of the county to look at her house and determine if it is a finished or unfinished attic or so forth, and your licensed appraiser has stated it in his opinion as an unfinished attic, and it doesn't have any value, why are you adding it to her property record card?
Because it was there at original time and date.
I'm sorry, sir, I couldn't hear you.
It was there originally back in 03. That is as a finished upper story. It's been changed ever since 03.
And it wasn't listed in 03. There is a letter from one of your administrative staff stating that it was not part of the property. It was just rediscovered. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was taken off.
How was it rediscovered if no one from your office has been there and looked at it, and your hired appraiser, who is your representative, has said that it's not finished? How was it rediscovered?
When Ms. Johnson came in to appeal, she said it was not usable or whatever, and we made an adjustment. All of a sudden, obviously it got taken off in error, so we had to put it back on.
Could you put it back on in error?
No.
You could remove something in error, but you couldn't put it back in error when you haven't personally looked at it.
It's a stairwell. You walk up. So I'll go look at it and I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna see a floor of rafters that you can put boxes on. That's an unfinished attic.
Okay, last question for you that I have for the moment, and that is, if a person lays a piece of plywood in their attic to stop from falling through the rafters, in the event they need to crawl through their attic to repair wiring or to do any maintenance, okay? And that plywood is not attached, not nailed in, screwed in, any way creating a permanent floor. Does that cause a taxpayer to have a quote unfinished attic that you are going to tax?
No, it's still unfinished attic.
Okay. And did you hear the taxpayer's testimony that she said that the flooring that is laid up there is not attached or secured?
That's correct. I did.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Okay, let's see, Mr. Peasley.
Yeah,
Hold on a
so-
second. Let me ask Commissioner Michaud, I've seen your hand.
No, I'm just,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't think it was, but I wanted to be sure because I'd seen it before I did Mr. Peasley's question. Okay, Mr. Peasley.
Okay. Is an unfinished attic, is that covered in the schedule of values?
In ours it is.
Okay, and how is it defined? And how is it defined?
And an open space that can be used for storage.
Without regard to flooring,
Right.
is that correct?
You can
I didn't hear you.
a box of Christmas tree box on a lot of rafters.
Okay, so, okay, you're gonna have to speak up a little bit.
I'm sorry.
My question is without regard to flooring, it can be used for storage, and that's what makes it an unfinished attic. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do have a question. How do you,
Okay, Mr. Michaud.
yeah, I do have a question, and the county or the property owner can answer it. How do you access the attic? How do you get to the attic?
You asking me?
Yes, sir. Mhm.
She has a stairwell just like a upstairs.
Permanent stairs.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's not a pull down, you know.
Okay, let's see, Ms. Johnson, did you want to ask? I think it's Mr. Casey, or any of the other county witnesses. Did you want to have them as a part of your presentation, your evidence? Anything else you want to ask them?
No, sir, I don't have anything else to ask them. You know, I think, you know, the question has been appropriately answered by the appraiser and my statement and by what the county employees have indicated in their letters, in their letter indicating about the upper space at my house. So if, you know, if nothing else, I can try to go ahead and close out because, you know, what the county's appraisal report showed property that was 5 to 12 miles away from mine, whose square footage and value was not even in the same vicinity as mine. And then I'm sure they'll present that, one being at $200,000. This, I feel, was intentionally done with intent of disguising the disparities in their assessment processes. I could not understand why they didn't just use comparison of homes from my neighborhood, one of which is built just like mine, and lots of the home built within a year or two of mine. In conclusion, I feel and hope I have shown that discriminatory practices are embedded in the administration of tax assessment in the Edgecombe County. I trust you, Steve, there is racial inequities, economic inequities, and intentional data misrepresentation. My home is not 3,529 square feet. There's not a board that is nailed down providing a floor in the attic. All loose insulation and wires and pipes are exposed. I've even requested a home visit by the assessor several times to show and make sure my home was properly assessed. But instead, they had teenagers in a car do a drive-by with a camera to do their property reassessment. There is something wrong, and I humbly request that an honest, fair assessment be completed regarding this case before you today. And I thank you for your time and your effort.
All right, thank you, Ms. Johnson. Let me ask a question and then we'll see about cross-examination, Mr. Peters. Ms. Johnson, you indicated the sunroom you thought was appropriate and you didn't contest what the county had done there. I think your main thing is with that attic. It appears that the 3,529 is a composite or an aggregate of all the different square footages, and they have different levels of assessment value that are placed on those. And the base value obviously is your finished area is more value per square foot than a porch or garage. But if the county adjusted the unfinished attic portion of your tax appraisal, would that be an appropriate adjustment to your tax value?
I think that would be a most appropriate adjustment to my tax value. And, you know, the other stuff was minor, like, but like I said, you know, when you're paying $95, 95 cents a square foot, like they got 1,665 in some of my plaques. And then, but my blueprint is showing 1,579. And it's stuff like that. But I will take the $1,000. I mean, if they take that $1,000 off, you know, it'll just put us back to where we were. And
the 1,000 square foot you're talking about.
yeah, the 1,000 square foot. Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
That's
So
all right.
sorry.
Mr. Peters, do we need to go into cross-examination on this? Is this something you think the county could handle in deleting that amount and us disposing of this matter?
Just the value.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, if I could put you on mute for 30 seconds, I think
That'd
I
be
can
fine.
answer.
Thank you. That'll be fine.
Can I ask a question before you do that?
Sure, Vice Chairman Wheeler.
Mr. Lewis, show me on the property record card where I can see the value of the attic.
So if you
Can you identify the exhibit?
look at Exhibit 5, that is the current property record card. Well, that
Is
was
that
the one.
Defendant's Exhibit 5?
Yes, sir.
Exhibit 5 is the one
Okay.
prior to the upper attic being added.
All right.
Then Exhibit 7, you will see the final property record card in question and
Right.
the UAT of 1,000 square foot on the diagram. And then the
Wait a minute. I'm not following you. Oh, I got it up in the top.
Yes, sir.
That's unfinished attic. Is that what that
Yes,
means?
sir. And that
Okay.
UAT is our code in our schedule values for the unfinished attic. And then the way our CAMA system works, it works off of a point system. So in the left-hand side of the building description, you'll see those different sections broken out by points. And it calculates to the replacement cost new and comes to the 10% value. And that value is 6,000 if you calculate it.
Are you looking at Exhibit 7?
Yes, sir.
It says 7875.
That's replacement cost new.
Okay.
Let's see.
$1,142
Yes,
is
ma'am.
what I see on the property card. Commissioner
It is
Wheeler.
Right.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
No, excuse me.
$6,142.
And I
Okay.
see that on Exhibit 1, the third page of Exhibit 1, Commissioner Wheeler.
Thank you.
Is that of Ms. Johnson's exhibit? I'm sorry.
Yes, Exhibit 1, the third page. That's where I'm getting the information.
So that's an online property record card, so it's a little bit different than the one that we presented. But yes, the final value on that is $6,142.
Okay.
Where the replacement cost would be $7,875.
In the schedule of values, is an unfinished attic one that has the ability to become finished?
Yes, sir, and that utilizes some type of storage
Right.
and
That
accessible by a stairwell.
right. Not a pull down.
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Peters, you wanted to go on
Yes,
mute?
sir. If you don't mind, I'll discuss that with the tax assessor.
All right.
Administrator.
Let's take a 5-minute break while you do that. I think some of us need a short break.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mike, can you go ahead and bring down that screenshot. So yeah, I can see who's back now. Well, I can't tell for sure, but I can see who all still participating. Okay, I see Commissioner Michaud back, Commissioner Wheeler, Ms. Garrett. How about Mr. Peasley and Mr. Guest? Are they back yet? And Mr. Peters, he'll get back with us, I guess. Let's see, Mr. Pelfrey. Ms. Johnson, can you still hear us?
I'm still here. I can still hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I saw that you were speaking, but we had it on mute, so I'm not sure if you were addressing the county.
I was just trying to make sure if you're back. Let's make sure we get everyone back. There's Mr. Peasley, and I think we're looking for Mr. Guest. Make sure he's back.
We don't want to be.
Skin strong properties. I didn't even know sure. I'll be okay.
Let's see, Mr. Guest, are you back yet? Don't think so. Okay, there he is. All right, I think we have everybody back now. Mr. Peters, anything you want to advise us of?
Well, Your Honor, unfortunately, the county is not willing to consider that. While I understand the request, the county's position is that there is an unfinished attic. The appraisal shows that there's an unfinished attic, and unfinished attic is an item listed in the county's schedule of values. So for the county to remove it would be inconsistent with how it treats other properties in the county where they know properties there. In addition to that, and I don't want to get into too much of an argument, but the appellant's Exhibit 4, that 2003 letter, that second paragraph of the letter sure seems to indicate that she agreed that that space should be listed as attic space. So I hate to be difficult, but the county's.
Well, that's all right. It's your decision. Okay. Ms. Johnson, have you finished your presentation of evidence now? And it'll be up to the, at this time, you'll have a chance to have some rebuttal evidence if you do, but it'd be this time Mr. Peters would examine you. Okay?
Okay.
All right,
Thank
Mr. Peters.
you. Ms. Johnson, it's good to speak with you again. You mentioned several things I just want to clear up. You mentioned a few times $95 per square foot, but I believe you may have been referring to the tax rate of 95 cents per $100. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. These values listed on your Exhibit 6, these other properties that you use to compare your value, do you know when each of these homes was built?
It's in the exhibit that was presented. Because I pulled there's a copy of the entire tax card. So it's whatever the Edgecombe County had in their system, and which shows when these properties was built, it's in the exhibit.
Ms. Johnson, do you understand that the attic space is not assessed at the same value as the other square footage of your home? Is that right?
I understand that the attic space is not assessed at the same value, But my concern is that that added space has not been assessed on my home until June of 2020 at the end of the appeal hearing that I had. That's when all of a sudden the county tax assessor, the county tax administrator decided that she was going to add that 1,000 square feet of added space to my value. And that just threw everything off.
Well,
So
Ms.
it was never from its initial taxing up until June of 2020, that attic space has never been included in any assessment of my property.
Well, Ms. Johnson, that's not correct, is it? It was only included on your property tax card in the past, right?
No.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, do you have those exhibits, the copies of the defendant's exhibits that we gave you when you met with me?
I do.
Okay, will you look at what we've marked Defendant's Exhibit 1, please?
Hold on a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Take your time.
Okay. Can you go ahead and talk? I have, because they're trying to move me out of this room, and I was trying to pack up my stuff, but go ahead and tell me what you want me to know about that particular thing while I continue to look for it.
Yes, ma'am, and I don't want to rush you, but I think if you had Defendant's Exhibit 1 in front of you, you might see that there's space, 750 square feet of space listed as UUS, or unfinished upper story. And the date in the upper right-hand corner of Defendant's Exhibit 1 is December 16th of 02. Do you remember that that space was listed as unfinished upper story space in December of 2002?
No, I do not, but based upon the employees of Edgecombe County and their letter and their reassessment of this my property, that letter was dated February 2003. That should not have been there. It should not have been there.
It should not.
That's what the Edgecombe County appraiser and assessor said, that this was in fact an error on the part of the county, and it should not be assessed to my property.
And you visited, or you came to the tax office sometime in 2003, February of 2003, is that right? To talk about that?
That is correct, because they requested that I bring in my blueprint. I brought it in. They kept it for about 4 or 5 months. And then we talked, and then and so forth. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. And
I try to do what I'm asked to do.
And that letter that you attached as Exhibit 4 to your appeal, dated February 7th of 2003, does it not read, I understand you spoke with our assessor and she agrees that the upper story of your home should be listed as attic space. Did you agree in 2003 that that space should be listed as unfinished attic space?
She used the terminology. I don't know the terminology that is proper or correct. All I know is that she was saying that there should not have been added space assessed to my property. She even indicated that she went back and not only changed the value and changed that, but she also changed the sketches in the county system. And that's where you got where the attic is no longer on the sketches. She did that, and she indicated that in that letter dated February the 7th, 2003.
Well, I'm not sure that's what she indicated. Do you have Defendant's Exhibit 2? Have you been able to find those exhibits yet, Ms. Johnson?
Yes, I'm looking at them.
Okay, do you see the date on Defendant's Exhibit 2, the top right-hand corner?
Exhibit 2,
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
And that's August 13th of 2008, right?
That's what you get. That's what's up there.
Yes, ma'am. And you see the unfinished attic space is included on the card at that point?
And and that is to say what?
Well, it was listed in 2008 at least, wasn't it?
No, it was not. If you would look, well, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that that letter dated February the 7th, 2003, in which 2 employees of Edgecombe County, an appraiser and an assessor, agreed that that attic space should not be included in my property value. And they went in and they changed the value, and they also changed the sketch showing that that attic space was no longer there. And that's what you see in your Exhibit 3. In your Exhibit 3, that's what you're showing.
Well, I'll get to that in just a minute. When you got that letter in February of 2003 and it said that the upper story should be listed as attic space, did you go back to the tax office and say, no, I thought we said this would not be attic space?
Why would I? Why would I do that when they clearly stated that they was going to reduce the value of my house and take off that attic, unfinished attic, and I think every house got an attic space. But anyway, if you read that letter again, no matter how you try to change it, it's still saying that they were going to change that value and take off that attic, unfinished attic. And they even went so far as to say, we're going to even delete it from the sketch in the county system.
Mr. Peters, let me ask you something. Yeah, 2012, is it shown on the 2012 or the 2017 property card?
No, sir.
I'm trying to look at these and.
No, sir. And I was going to get there, Mr. Chairman, but it did come off at some point.
Okay, that's what it appeared. And so that's what I was trying to see.
So, Ms. Johnson, at some point, the unfinished attic space, after having been on there for several years, was removed from the property listing, right?
And it was put back on when she appeared at the hearing. Is that correct? So we all working off the same information? Okay. All righty, go ahead.
Ms. Johnson, did you have a chance to review that appraisal that Mr. Breedlove produced that we've marked as Defendant's Exhibit 16?
I reviewed it to the best of my ability. Like I said, I am not trained or skilled in the area of doing property assessment and values and stuff like that. But I reviewed it the best that I could. And but now I can accept his statement, that he made previously in regards. Excuse me, just a minute. If you can go ahead and.
We really have got to get ready for the next group, and they're coming in here very shortly.
Okay, is there somewhere can I move out there?
There's nowhere out there, it's like where you can have like an open conversation. We don't have any other like enclosed rooms, I'm afraid.
Give me just a few more minutes.
I can give you like 5 minutes, man, but we really got to get in here.
All right.
All right, let me see, Ms. Johnson, see if I can figure out what's going on with your situation there. Are you in a room that apparently somebody is telling you you're going to have to leave?
Yes, I am.
In 5 minutes, is that what I heard?
Yeah, you heard him.
All right, we're not going to be able to finish this in 5 minutes. Is there an alternative that we have here? Otherwise, we're going to have to continue it to tomorrow or something. If we can't, obviously we're not going to finish it in 5 minutes.
I can, let me see. I can try, I don't know if I will retain the connection.
Is this something that we could finish tomorrow morning? We have a light agenda.
That's fine with me, if it's okay with you guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't anticipate it, going this length. But somebody else has got this room for the rest of the afternoon, so.
Mr.
But I'm so
Peters, will that work for you?
Well, Mr. Chairman, we understand that certainly, and fine with continuing this. Tomorrow, Mr. Breedlove will not be able to be here, and Mr. Lilly will likely not be able to be here.
What about, well, let's see.
I think the county could probably get by without them. I assume
Okay.
Ms. Johnson's asked her questions at this point, so.
Okay, all right, if that'll work for you. Let's continue it to in the morning so that, Ms. Johnson, will you have a place tomorrow morning that you can be available for probably, 2 or 3 hours if needed?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will go ahead and reserve the space now.
All right,
now.
and Mr. Conley, can you work and see if we can get her video tomorrow if we're gonna be doing this?
Yes, sir. We will try, see what we can do.
Okay,
From what I have been told, I think it's a setting on her computer that should have to change. But we can try again tomorrow.
okay. Ms. Johnson, you might want to, well, if you can call Mr. Conley back and maybe he can work you through that before we get ready to go in the morning. We will convene at 9. We have 2 motions. We'll probably hear those first, so those people don't have to wait. They normally don't take too long.
Okay.
If that'll work.
Okay, so 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yes, and Mr. Peasley, let's go ahead and continue that one, no AV 14, unless you see there's some reason we can't continue it till tomorrow morning.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I was trying to get my video back on. You said
That's
Peasley,
all
but I believe you probably meant me.
I did meet you, Mr. Pelfrey, excuse me.
That's no problem at all. And the parties were notified of the hearing date of today. I noticed that the Jackson County assessor, tax administrator rather, is on today. If I think it would be my recommendation, if it's okay with you, that we go ahead and deal with that today and be done with
Okay,
that.
all right. Let's go ahead. We'll continue this case till tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And then we will hear the no AV 14 and the matter of from Jackson County, Deer Run, POA, Inc. And I understand there's somebody here from Jackson County. Is there anybody here representing Deer Run, POA, Inc.? Have you had any contact with Mr. Pelfrey?
I have not, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and call that matter. And Mr. Pelfrey, can you advise us of this matter?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. This is a hearing to consider dismissing the appeal for failure to file Form AV 63 on July 27th, 2021. The appellant in this matter, filed a notice of appeal with the commission by letter dated July 30th, 2021. Our office acknowledged receipt of that notice of appeal and sent with the acknowledgement letter copies of Form AV 63 along with the instruction to complete that form and return it. Also with the information that that filing that form was required within 30 days of filing the notice of appeal, which again was July 27th, 2021. As of today, nothing further has been filed in this matter. And on October 26th, 2021, the parties were advised of the hearing, the time and the date and the purpose and the manner of the hearing in this case. That's before you now.
Okay. Questions from any of the commissioners? If not, do I have a motion?
So move.
All right, I have a motion by Vice Chairman Wheeler, seconded by
Second.
Commissioner Michaud, that we dismiss Deer Run POA, Inc. 21 Property Tax Commission 0356. Any further discussion? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, and that is dismissed. And as far as I know, that takes care of what we can do today. And so we'll see everybody in the morning, and hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.